I haven't seen anything like it before. All the messages are actually written on the car, and they're changing, and then there's light and there's sound and movement that's kind of directing your attention to it, and that's actually what exhibits like this are all about.
It feels like a spa in here. Oh, it's like a tranquil feeling.
I've always thought of Saturn as being innovative because I remember when they first started out, there was something that if you bought a car and it broke down, they would lend you another car. And I always thought that that was really cool. And so this kind of just fit with my personal impression of it.
I was aware of what Saturn is doing. I was aware they had a hybrid. I'm aware of the competition, having worked for Toyota in a previous life. This exhibit validated my understanding of what Saturn is attempting to do in terms of repositioning themselves, but staying true to their heritage of caring for the customer and those type of things. The whole hybrid Green Line program is a key element at a point in time where people are paying attention to this type of thing. And it's doing it again in a very clear manner, so it's taking back the ground that companies like Toyota think they own.
It only kind of amazes me how seamless the projection is on the actual structure of the car. It seems like a great way to show what's going on underneath the paneling of the car.
There isn't anybody who walks by who doesn't stop and read what the information is on the car, and I actually walked all the way around the car to be able to get all the information as well too. We love Obscura. It's always about being able to be very creative. Communication is the world that we're in. We need to be able to communicate in many different levels, and Obscura really helps us do that. But I also got to say, it's really fun working with the folks at Obscura too.
It's alive, it's moving, and things are changing shape, so you kind of move towards it. And then, it provides you with the feeder questions so you can sort of begin to understand, what's going on.
Taking a look at this, I learned a lot more about the car than I would have had I just gone into a dealership, because all of the questions, I wouldn't think of all these questions to ask, but looking at it on the computer, I can see all the different features of the car and things that I wouldn't have thought about. Maybe I would have thought about it when it was too late.
The technology, I think, is exciting because it just means that Saturn is moving further into where everybody else is already trying to go. And I like the fact that they are doing this on an educational level as well as a visual here.
When I looked at the kiosk, I usually just take the brochure and walk away, and maybe read on the subway on the way home, but there it's right before you. So it kind of helps you with what you're looking for. And a lot of younger generations are more tech savvy and want to know about the gadgets. Something inside which you certainly can't touch. So it's nice to be able to look and kind of have a clue of what's going on.
Even my students started asking questions about a car that they would never even think to ask these questions. That usually it's just, oh, it's a pretty car. But now they're asking me questions about the safety and what do the different words mean on the computer. So they're getting interested.
You know exactly what you're going to get when you buy the car, because usually when you buy a car, you buy an idea of what the brand wants to sell you, but you don't necessarily understand what's behind it. And here it makes every information available to you.
The hologram gets right into the details of the engine, the batteries, the hybrid system. So I think that it absolutely helps out as far as informing the public. And you have this hologram that's pretty much asking, telling you every question that comes to mind right in there before you even ask it.
That's exactly why Saturn decided to look at hybrid technology in a different way, to see if they could make it simpler, more affordable, more universal.
With the hologram talking about the technology, I'd be more likely to pay attention to it and understand it, because I'm really not into all that kind of stuff. Being a girl, guys are really more into the technology and that kind of gritty stuff. Knowing that it's easily explained by somebody in pictures, visual, makes it more interesting to me as a woman.
The thin guy here is just making me feel bad, that's all. Because I'm not thin, and he's really thin.
You're projecting onto different kinds of surfaces, you're making it interactive, like the wall, the far end of the exhibit. And you're bringing it to life for people. In fact, there's a lot of children here putting their messages into your digital grass wall. And what's happening is, during that process, of course, they're taking in the exhibit. Your client's message is going in. So it's a very clever idea.
We walked in and right away someone actually ran through the grass and you could see the response. Everyone immediately turned to the exhibit and started watching it. But it's obvious, it's a really great way to retain a message if you're actually trying to put it out there to make it interactive with the audience who's here.
The question's not, am I more likely to go buy tomorrow? It's, am I intrigued about the brand enough that when I'm in my next mode, do I go check them out? Yeah, I think I would. I'd go by the showroom, I'd go on the web when it was my next time to buy a car and see what they had to offer. And this would have given me more incentive to do that.
I would tell my parents about this car because I know they want a hybrid, so it's put it back on my radar screen.
This exhibit definitely makes me want to look at hybrids a little bit closer, only because I can see now why they're making them and why there's a purpose behind them. And being a already Saturn owner, I already knew I wanted to get another Saturn, and being a hybrid, I know it's going to save us some gas and save us a lot of just pain and suffering of having to go to the gas station once a week.
This type of exhibition is what we need to let us know, because people are afraid of what they don't know. And I don't understand myself why this hybrid system is not more popular. It's very cost effective. It doesn't cost more than the regular. In fact, I learned today that it costs less. So if I was in the market for a vehicle, this would be it, because this is the future of cars and technology.